Hello everyone, so now we understand how we install Hafele Resize Mini Mortise Digital Door Lock. To begin with, the first step we need to do is to use the installation drill sheet which comes in the box. We have made the cutouts as per the installation drill sheet in the mock-up which we are using in the video for you. The holes as per the template has been drilled accordingly, and if we try to place the template on the door which is in the mock-up, we see that all the holes are matching as per the drill sheet's requirement. We have also made the cutouts for the strike plate and the mortise lock as per the template which you can see in the cavity. The next step is to use the mortise lock of the door lock. Resize Digital Door Lock Mortise has got a unique spindle follower which has got two screws on the spindle follower. Both the sides have got the same provision, but these two screws will come on the inside side of the door, that means towards the inside of the house, as the side which will have these two screws will define the panic exit from that side, as the panic exit is always from the inside towards the outside, hence the screw has to be inside. The latch can be rotated. The way to do is you hold the mortise lock upside down, push the latch inside and turn it. This will allow to change the latch position as per the door opening side position, if it's a din left or a din right. As a mock-up is a din left, we have changed the latch position and the screw sides accordingly. We will show you how do we change the screw side from one side of the mortise lock to the other side. We recommend to put the screws towards the inside side, because if the screws are towards the outside, the panic exit will not work from inside of the house, but it will work in the opposite direction, which is not secure. We do not suggest to use a drill machine or a power tool to open the screws of the spindle follower, as the screws are very small. There are chances that the power tool might break the head. We use a screwdriver and change the position of the smaller screws on the spindle follower. Once we do this, and once we decide and change the position of the screws on the spindle follower, the mortise lock is ready to be fixed on the door. The cable of the mortise lock always come towards the inside of the house, as the cable of the mortise lock and the cable of the front panel both are fixed and attached to the back panel. Hence, we need to ensure that the cables are towards the inside of the house. We have different screw set for different door thickness in Resize lock. The standard door thickness is 40 to 60 mm, but we have special screw sets for 60 to 90 and 90 to 120 mm door thickness also. We have the timber door screws which comes in the box to fix the mortise lock. After this, our mortise lock is installed, and then we use the two studs to get fixed on the front panel, because these two studs will then be used against the screws of the back panel to hold it with the center plate. So we fix these two studs with hand, and this is how we prepare the front panel. One important thing to note here is the shaft door spindle which is fixed on the front panel needs to be cut according to the door thickness, as the shaft spindle does not come more than the thickness of the door, as it is not required to be attached to the back panel. So we cut it and flush it with the door thickness, Now the front panel is ready to be assembled. We do it by fixing it with the center plate. But the first contact of the center plate on the door is the rubber gasket. We use the rubber gasket with the center plate and place it according to the hole's position. Use the right number of screws and the right type of screws to fix the center plate and the front panel together. As per the door thickness, you will get different screw sets. If the door thickness is up to 120 mm and more than 60 mm, you need to order special screw sets from Hafele. Once the center plate is fixed, all we need to do now is to fix the back panel with the cables. But before that, we need to check if the center plate is tightly fixed. Now we take out the battery cover of the back panel because there are two top holes on it so that we can fix it on the center plate. We use the back panel slots to put the cable of mortise log and the front panel, and later we assemble it on the center plate. We check before screwing if the back panel is assembled properly on the center plate and then tighten it with the screws. If you see now, the front panel, the mortise log and the back panel is properly assembled on the door. Next step is to use the right side of strike plate against the cutout made on the frame and install it. Resize has a very unique feature that we can use any type of lever handle on this product. Any design, any finish which the customer or you want to select for your house. There are certain things to be considered while picking up a lever handle. A hollow handle and a handle on which the rose set is not attached cannot be used. The spindles which we need to use along with the lever handle are of different length according to the door thickness, but the way you fix the spindle is different in resize law. You insert a spring in the spindle follower area of the lever handle and then push the spindle inside. The spindle is not fixed on the lever handle by a grub screw, unlike in regular lever handles. And the spindle is also not fixed on the mortise log. That means the spindle is in a free position between the handle and the mortise log. But because of the usage of the spring, the spindle is always pushed against the mortise log between lever handle and the mortise. The lever handle box will come along with the male and female screw type, which will be used to fix the lever handle, as the assembly of a male and a female screw is done by using two screwdrivers back to back. The last step is to use 4 AA batteries on the digital door lock to give it the power supply, and then you have the right access to your house by letting the right person in and keeping the wrong people out of the house.